Hello and welcome everybody to an intro to Darkest Dungeon 2, which is an early access on the Epic Games Store for $30. If you like the first Darkest Dungeon, I think you would like this one too. I was a little hesitant, but I felt like I should buy it and try it out, and I've been pleasantly surprised. Now the game, came out on Tuesday, and it is now Thursday, October 28th. So there hasn't been that much. I've probably played like 5 hours, if even. But I think I have good enough expertise right now to just give a little preliminary guide to it. And this is a guide that will treat you like an adult. There's a bunch of other stuff out there I've looked up, like Darkest Dungeon tips. It's like, make sure your party has their skills equipped. So it's for babies. It's stuff. It's clickbait. I consider myself to be pretty okay at Darkest Dungeon 1, and I think the tips I'm not saying I'm revolutionary, or there's certainly people on Reddit or whatever, other YouTubers that actually know what they're talking about too, but I want to do stuff that's practical and helpful. So let's just get into the game first. First thing, you start the game, you have a really great cinematic, and I'm not going to spoil that. That was really good. So then, the first thing you want to do is you want to go into options, so you click escape. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit just for the sake of this video. Do that how you want, graphics how you want, controls, turn steering sensitivity all the way up because you're playing kart simulator, and you need to drive this thing well. It's actually quite annoying how you have to drive this thing, so just turn this all the way up, and turn steering angle all the way up as well. Game settings, I didn't touch these. I mean, you can do tutorials, subtitles if you want. So, next thing is, this game is different than Darkest Dungeon 1, is that you're supposed to lose. You will lose, and if you don't lose, the game's actually harder for you. But it takes from the Butcher's Circus DLC, where by playing you unlock permanent upgrades, in which they call your profile level. So you start at 1 and you have jack shit. So by the end of the first run, I made it through about 2 different routes. And I got up to rank 5, so I unlocked a bunch of this shit, I unlocked the Hellion, unlocked all of this, unlocked all of this. I did a second run that didn't go so well, I unlocked the Runaway, and now I'm on my way to profile rank 7. And it goes all the way up to 50, I'm not going to show you everything. But that's useful to know, is that you're supposed to keep playing the game, and you're not going to win, but it will get progressively easier as you A, get more experience, and B, get better stuff. So let's begin with a new journey. Alright, thanks to some police officers, we're going to restart. So we click a new journey, and then we get into Kart Simulator. So you have these confessions. I think these choose who the final boss is. Not that that'll matter to you at the beginning, because you're not going to make it that far. So you WASD for your cart, and you drive around. And this is a tutorial. M gets you the map, so you start here, you go to the crossroads, you pick your heroes, you get, I think it's you get some miscellaneous rewards, and then you end up getting to the inn at the first time. So this is just a tutorial. So, from my understanding, you have these solid roads, which means I don't think there's any there's any random fights, and you go faster. Whereas this, broken road here, means you might get a traveling fight encounter. You might also get more stress, although I'm not sure. So, go to the crossroads, look at some heroes. Now, you don't start with the Hellion or the Runaway. I haven't played with the Runaway, I've played with the Hellion. So, you start with these 4 here. Now, instead of 4 skills, everybody can use 5 skills. But you can unlock a bunch of them. And you unlock a bunch of these skills, and then you can pick and choose them in between fights. So let's just go over the heroes very, very briefly. I want it to be noted that everybody starts with quirks, and you can't abandon journey. I can click abandon run, restart, and it'll keep the same one. So you can't just cycle quirks like you can in a game like Urtuk the Desolation. So Plague Doctor, a lot of these skills, at least the beginning ones, are the same. Noxious Blast is the front row blight. It's pretty okay. Blinding Gas, it doesn't stun anymore. It does a blinding, attack, where you have a 50% chance to miss your next attack. These are like little tokens that they'll give you. Incision is a pretty bad ability because you're never going to use it, because your first 4 are these 4, and she is back rank, so she'll never get to use Incision. Battlefield Med is your only like heal ability, so that's essential. An Ounce of Prevention, I believe, upgrades into a stress heal, which means it's also integral to your kit because you need stress healing, because this is much harder. If anyone's played Forgotten Dungeons, I made a little bit of a series on this like about a year ago on my channel. This Darkest Dungeon 2 reminds me of that very, very much. So if you played that, you know, but the long dungeons, you know what I'm talking about. So Grave Robber starts with these first 5 abilities. Pick to the Face and Thrown Dagger are the staple attacks. Flashing Daggers is pretty good because I actually like Flashing Daggers for this one reason, because it has shit damage. So if you have a Weaken token, let's see, can you? No. So Weaken means you do minus 50% damage. And then there's also things called dodge tokens, which give you a 50% chance to dodge the next attack. So if you have 2 enemies with dodge and you have weaken, you can burn all of those tokens with flashing daggers, which 50% of 2 damage is 1 damage. So you're only losing out on 1, and you still burn the dodge token. So this is actually a good ability, unlike Darkest Dungeon 1 where it was dog shit. Poison darts, I think I've used once. It's crap. It can hit row 4, which is like semi-useful. Absinthe is a really, really good ability. It helps the Grave Robber dodge tank. I think the Grave Robber, if you love her up, might actually be a really good dodge tank or off tank kind of healer. And so this is a great ability. I've soloed fights with Absinthe. You heal, give yourself dodge tokens, and you gain speed for the next round. This is an amazing ability that you get later. And what you do is you go to these little shrines and you go through memories, and then each time you win the memory, you get a new skill. So I recommend getting the Grave Robbers one first, probably. That or the Man-at-Arms. Because what this is, you kill a corpse, which is useful against some in some regions, and then you heal and you stealth. So that's a fantastic ability. The second one is okay, but I wanted to get, where is it? Lunge. Lunge, I thought Lunge was far, closer. But you eventually end up getting Lunge, which is, of course, a great ability from the first game. Highwayman starts with Wicked Slice. Pistol Shot. Duelist Advance is as amazing as always. Duelist Advance is better in this game than it was in the last one, so do use Duelist Advance all the time. Tracking Shot I found is pretty shit. If I spend an ability to ignore dodge and remove dodge, or I could just use Flashing Daggers to get rid of dodge on 2 people. So I found this ability is pretty shit at level 1. And you have very limited upgrades, so I don't think it's worth it to upgrade this, at least at the beginning. This is a pretty decent ability. You get a crit. That little star itself is a crit. Then you get a little bit of dodge, and you remove blind. That's fine. And you upgrade and you get Point Blank Shot, and we know how Duelist Advance and Point Blank Shot are the wombo combo. And Man-at-Arms gets his Crush ability, his Rampart ability. He gets his Guard. He gets Bolster, which is useful, especially when you level that up. I think that also gets Stress Heal. This is a pretty good one, too. You move forward, so you can shuffle with Highwayman. You can keep Duelist Advance up. Gives him some damage reduction, and it does some damage on its own, which is nice. Especially, again, the good thing about like this ability for the Man-at-Arms is that it, again, will get rid of weaken tokens that make him do less damage without actually sacrificing that much damage. Because 50% of an average of 4.5 is like 2. So you're losing 2 damage. No one cares. Upgrading him gets you Bellow. Bellow is great. It removes Riposte on enemies. It lowers their speed. And if you upgrade it, you get a lowering of dodge as well, I believe. Or you remove dodge tokens. So this is a fantastic ability. So I'll just throw this on here. We can talk about these heroes later. Hellion is really good. So you might want to throw your first campaign and get Hellion, but I think you should just play the first one anyway. So I'm going to put him here. I do this so that you could Duelist Advance into 2, and he's very good from position 2, because I can do it again and get into 1. Arguably could do this and get him into 1 and then Point Blank Shot. You know, fuck it, we'll do that. So I want to drop poison darts, pick up Dead of Night, just because that's good for me. Drop tracking, pick up point blank. I'm gonna drop a rampart. I haven't seen any hero stuns, so like this doesn't stun, Yop doesn't stun, so that's kind of tough. So, but those are your good heroes. Your first 4 heroes are fine. This is your light meter here. If you have to mouse over the torch on top of your caravan, and you can see at the top of the screen.
Roadway will finally take you home.
Thank you, Wayne. You'll see how that plays out, and the buffs and debuffs that your heroes and the enemies will get. So let's right-click on a hero here, and we'll see how this works. So you have your quirks. It's really hard to get rid of negative quirks, I think, because you have to find on the map. The map. So there will be different things here, and one of them will be where you can, like the hospital, where you can get rid of diseases and quirks and shit like that. It's not just in the town. So that means it's more rare to do this, and it costs a lot of money. So this is kind of hard to get rid of. Diseases also are pretty shitty, so you're going to want to get rid of those too, and you're going to run out of a lot of money. So this is your relations with people. There are different events that can increase or decrease your affinity to the various dudes. You have stress, HP, and speed. Speed is important in this game, although I think it's less important than in the first one because you can't DPS everybody down as much. Stress is a lot worse because you go from 1 to 10 as opposed to 1 to 100. Although it's less bad, I think. You can recover from heart attacks a lot more. Here's where you pick your skills. We'll talk about combat items later, and conditions if you have any shit on you. Everybody has high death blow resist. Pretty high death blow resist, starting at 75. But that's because everybody has permanent, it's like hardcore mode, 1 life. So if they die, they go away forever. But let's continue moving on. So you want to run into every single thing you see, because this is your way of interacting with curios. I find this incredibly annoying, because it means I can't just click. Like, I have to have my hand on the WASD.
My wealth and possessions
in order to
into this
get things.
Pile.
All right, +1 speed trinket, disease resist, chance of purging a negative quirk. That's pretty good. All right, so let's right-click on here. Disease resist. Anyone got really shit disease resist? Hello? Thank you. We'll give it to you. +1 speed. 5, 4. I'll give it to the healer. Let's look at a combat item. This is a... Combat items are in-house buffs, are in-house, like, consumables that go in the battle, and then you can only have 1 per hero. But you get a lot of them, so you probably should be using them. I'm really bad at using consumables in any game ever, so I don't use them as much as I should, but you should be doing that. I hope you can understand how this driving mechanic is kind of a pain in the ass. So now we're getting on to an encounter. You have fight encounters and you have these like civilian encounters. And these give you a chance to raise your torch, give you food, can give you loot. So each hero would have their own way of looking at this. And typically if you see a yellow glow around each hero, that means they will agree with you. Gold in this game is the good color, and blue is the bad color. So gold means that these heroes will agree with each other and their relationship will increase. So I'll just pick him, so we get plus torch and we get better food. On your first run, you're gonna get shit like slime food that decreases your disease resist. But after you win that first, after you lose the first run, you will unlock better food that doesn't lower your disease resist. So that's why I got that instead of slime mold. So we keep driving. We're gonna hit this old bridge. Then we're gonna hit a fight encounter over here. Spoilers. And then we'll go on to the first actual dungeon, and I'll make that probably its own video, because this is just the get through how to play the game, basically.
Ahead, only
How to
trial
start the game.
and tribulation. Each gravestone is more than a failure.
Alright, these roadblocks here
It is a
are
promise
signs of an
to do
encounter.
better.
So let's take a look at this.
The bulwark of
Oh,
your
sorry about
denial
that.
is
Combat in this
giving
game
way.
is pretty similar to the first one, as it's turn-based with I think it's probably still D8 plus speed. It's roll for speed plus your actual speed number. And then you can see the turn order up here. So this is the Shitty Lost Soul. These are your crap rules. I wish they would let you know what abilities things have. I think they do let you do that in the first game. This is a very dangerous enemy. It actually stuns you. So that's a real pain in the ass. So we're gonna roll a Blight. I think that the graphics in this game look fantastic. I was kind of unimpressed when we first saw it. Alright. We're gonna go for the kill on the Widow. I probably could have 3 to 5 versus 3 to 6. Damn it. Alright. I probably misplayed that. By going for the wrong hero skills there. But oh well. Alright. Enemies actually have low resist in this game, which is good to worry about. Alright, he's gonna bleed out, so we're gonna beat the shit out of him. I think that's kind of an annoying mechanic, personally. But that's just me. You can see there, we got a kill, which means that the Highwayman and the Man-at-Arms have a plus affinity bonus. If characters have higher stress, even things like kills can cause negative affinity. You can be like, oh, you kill stole, and I'm pissy now.
There is so much worse in store.
Alright, so we got a trinket from that. We'll just throw this on someone. And, which means you really gotta worry about your stress and keep your stress low. Because if your affinity between your heroes goes to shit, you've kind of lost, your run is doomed. It seems to snowball either way. If you have a high affinity between your heroes, they'll do better and better. But once it starts getting like shit, then it just gets worse and worse and worse, and you'll never ever be able to get out of it, which is a real pain in the ass.
We would come
So this is
here
the
in
inn.
summers of years gone.
We always have this little
write,
event up
think,
here.
and rest.
We can look at the provisioner. We can buy different things. We're missing the best item in the game, I think, which is this speed trinket, which gives you a chance to spawn dodge tokens at the beginning of every turn. Don't think we need to buy any of those. High chance. I'll buy playing cards for everyone. And we can see how so some people's affinities went up and down there, it looks like. Went down with Dismas, up, up. Up, up, down. So Dismas cheated like an ass. They're friendly. Okay. Not bad. Mastery Trainer.
Each improvement,
This is where we
a new
upgrade our
variable
cart.
in the
Here
equation of
at
your
the
fate.
Wainwright. And then Mastery Trainer
Learn what can
is where we
be
upgrade
taught.
skills.
That
So we
you
can
may
see here
stand
how...
just
Oh,
a
Bell,
little
instead of removing
core at
removes
the end.
crit. So you can see the upgrades for every single skill here. Bolster is a good stress remover. Point blank shot does knockback. Riposte, I think getting riposte up is really good. Gives him a dodge token as well, which makes him actually quite tanky. Grave Robber. Heal 50% on corpse. And remove a stress. That's a fantastic ability. Get Ultra Dodge. That's good too. And let's take a look at this. Yeah, -1 stress on everybody. And you get a lower cooldown on this ability, so all of these are strong starts. So we'll just pick this. And then you select a route. You get different options. Sprawl is like fiery enemies, and Tangle is actually it's kind of bleed enemies. They're like it's reminiscent of the Wield, sort of, where like enemies are grown over with mushrooms, but they actually do a lot of bleeding damage. It's supposed to blight damage. And I haven't played enough of this, but I think they do burn damage is what it is. Because now there's a third. There's blight, bleed, and burn. So Sprawl gets you burn. Well, let's take a look at these. You get a condition, is what this is called. So you get minus 20% blight resist. Shouldn't matter that much because there's going to be a lot of burning enemies here. Here, you get better chances for a certain type of building you can find. And you get a goal. So the goal is fight no more than one resistance encounter. And the reward for that is more hope, which gets you more profile points. And then if you avoid the watchtower, which reveals the map, you get a mastery point, so you get an extra skill upgrade. So this party, if we take a look at our party, this doesn't seem that hard. Avoiding the watchtower isn't a hard thing to do. And then losing out on blight resist in a non-blight area also doesn't seem that bad. So this is the beginning on how to play the game. Within the next day or so, I'm gonna basically go through that first dungeon, and then we will show how to fight combat and shit like that. So I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace.